Sir.
Ma? Okay. Today I am going to discuss about some 2 to 3 programs. Just listen. In yesterday's class, some other students in some other class, they tell me one algorithm of LCM to finding of LCM in another way. That algorithm I am going to implement in program. Okay, I will explain here the algorithm and how they are going to do it. For example, is 12 and 26. For example, there are two numbers, 12 and 26. They are going to find what is the biggest number in this. What is the biggest number? Biggest number is L number is 26 and the small number is 12 here. Okay.
Sir, your screen is not visible, sir.
Sorry. Okay. I forget to share that.
Yes.
One more algorithm, that is, for example, we are going to read two variables that is 12 and 26. In this we have to find what is the largest element. What is the largest element in this? Largest element is 26 and the smallest element is 12. Okay, we have to find these two elements first of all. Okay, now we are going to find what is the largest element. Largest element is 26, right? Largest element is 26. Now we have to find is 26 is divisible by smallest element or not. That means the remainder is 0. Is exactly divisible or not? Is it possible? Students, what is the... Is it true? We have to check, is it true?
No,
Is
sir.
no, right? No. Then we have to multiply with 2 here. Multiply with 2. Then what is the answer? 26 into 2. That is going to be 52. Right? Now the L value becomes 52. Now again I am going to check 52 mod 12. 52 mod 12. That is going to be 4. That is also not 0, right? Then again I am going to multiply with 26 into 3. 26 into 3. What is 26 into 3? 26 into 3. That is 78. Okay, 78. Now I am going
Sir,
to
your
check.
screen is not visible, sir.
Yes, I already shared my screen. Just check once again. Is my screen is visible, students?
No, it is visible, sir.
Okay.
Visible, sir, visible.
Oh, okay. I'm going to check it now. 26 into 3, that is 78. Is 78 is divisible by 12? No, not at all. Okay. Now again I am going to multiply with 4 here. 26 into 4. 26 into 4. That is 104. Now I am going to check. Is 104 is divisible? 104 mod 12. That is not 0, right? Again I am going to multiply with 5 here. That is 26 into 5. That is 130. 130 mod 12. That is, what is the value? That value is 10 here. Then again 26 into 6. 150 mod 12, that is going to be 6. 26 into 126 into 7 is 182. 182 mod 12, that is going to be 2. 26 into
26 into 6 no sir, you get 25 right?
Oh, sorry. 26 into 6, right? 26 into 6. 26 into 6. Okay, sorry. 156. 156 mod 12, that is going to be 0 here. That means at the time that is 26 into 6, that is 156. 156 is going to be 156 is going to be 0 here. That means what is the L value now? The L value is 156. At this time, this number is exactly divisible by 12. Then this is the LCM. Okay, then this is the LCM. For example, I am going to take two more numbers, 24, 12 and 24. What is the largest number is? Largest number is 24 into 1, really. 24 into 1 is 24, okay. Smallest number is 12. 24 mod 12 is 0 or not? Yes, it is 0. Then the answer is 24. Okay, and the answer is 24. I will explain with another example. For example, this is 32, 12 and 32. The largest number is 32 into 1. For example, into 1. Okay, smallest number is 12. I have to check, is 32 is divisible by 12? Is 32 is divisible by 12? No, not at all, right? That's why I am going to increment it into 2. 32 into 2. That means 32 into 2 is 64. 64 is divisible by 12? No, not at all. That means I am going to check with 3. 64, sorry, not 64. 32 into 3, what is that? 96. Is 96 is divisible by 12? Yes, it is divisible by 12. Then the answer is 32 into 3, that is 96 is the answer. 96 is the answer. Is the algorithm is clear or not? Here, what I am changing every time? I am not changing the value here. The L values remain same. I am going to change this value. What is the value? The value is some I think it is going to be start at 1 and it is going to be repeated number of times. When we are going to stop? If the number is going to be divisible by S, then I am going to stop. Which loop I am going to use? Is it for loop or while loop? Students?
While loop.
While loop, definitely it is a while loop. Why? Because we don't know where to stop. Yes, where to stop? If the L is going to be divided by S, then only I have to stop. Where it happens? Exactly we don't know. It is based on the two numbers. We don't know exactly, right? That's why we have to go for this model. I am going to implement this algorithm. We have to read two numbers, for example, L and S. Okay, I am going to read percentage D, comma, small comma. Anyway, we can read the values, no problem. I am going to read some small value or some S or L, that's it, nothing else. I am going to find which is the largest one in these two. In these two, what is the largest one? That's it. For example, A comma B also. Okay, no need to worry. Here I am going to A. I am going to take two. I am reading two values. I am going to find what is largest value and what is the smallest value. No need, no problem here. I am going to find here LCM underscore some second method, that is, for example, I am writing like that, A comma B. There is no need to write here. And I am going to find the LCM value is equal to LCM comma. Okay. I'm going to print percentage D comma LCM. The function name is LCM underscore second. I am passing two values. The function has the return type, that is integer. From this, I think, what is the return type? That is integer. The function name is LCM underscore second. I'm passing two values, that is int a comma int b. Two values I'm passing here. Int, I'm taking some l comma s, and I'm taking one I is equal to 1. Why? Because with this I only I'm going to iterate the values. Okay. What I have to do, I am going to find here if a is greater than b. A is greater than b. That means if a is bigger, l is equal to a, l is equal to a, s is equal to b. Else, that means else l is equal to b, s is equal to a. That means we are finding that what is the largest value here. That's it, nothing else. What is the largest value? We can write in another way also. I am writing as generally. That's it. Some big program, that is not a pure logic. This is just adjustment. That's it. We are finding that after this conditional statement, what is the largest one? L is the largest one and S is the smallest one, right? Now I am going to write the loop here. Now I am going to write the loop. I am writing infinite loop here. I am going to convert that manual braking into natural braking. First of all, I am going to write here infinite loop. What is the logic? This is the main logic, right? This is the main logic. Main logic. This is main logic. Now, what is my algorithm? I want to find if L into I, right? L into I. If L into I mod S is equal to 0, I am going to return L into I. Else L plus plus. I am writing here. L into I mod S is equal to 0. What is that? What is L value? For example, I am going to take some two values here. That is, for example, 12 and 26. Just look at just observe here, everyone. I am writing here. What is L value? L value is 26. L is equal to 26, and S is equal to 12. Okay. Now I am finding that. What is I value? I value I am taking here as 1. Very important one. This is I is equal to 1 is important. I am writing here. What is L value? L value is 26 into 1. 26 into 1 is 26. 26 mod 12 is equal to 0. If is equal to 0, just I am going to return L into I. That's it. L into I means 26, for example. But it is not divisible, right? It is not divisible. Then what happens? I plus plus, not L plus plus. That is I plus plus. What is I value now? I value becomes 2 here. I becomes 3, 4, and 5, and 6. For example, I becomes 6. L into I. What is L into I? That is 156, right? 26 into 6. That is 156. It is 156. Is 156 is divisible by 12? Yes. Now I am going to return the value. That's it. Nothing else. If I am going to execute it, 12 and 26, the output is 156 is the LCM. For example, I am going to execute it at 12 and 24, the output is 24. I am going to execute it 11 and 12. What is 11 and 12? What is the output here? The output is 132 is the LCM of the number. LCM of these two. Yes, do you observe? I write the logic with very simply. What I'm telling here, I am going to multiply the number and I am going to check is it divisible or not. I am going to do all the operations in single line. That's it. Multiplication and division I am going to check in a single statement, right? Then I am going to, if it is okay, then I am going to return the L into I. Okay. Just note down the logic. We can write in n number of ways. In previous class I write in different logic. Here I write in different way. We can write in n number of ways. Okay, students, do you have, I think everyone understand the logic, right? What I am writing here. Is there any doubts? Just ask here. Students, if you have any doubts, why sir, why you write like this? If you have any doubt, just ask me. Why I write this if condition? I can write in another way also, okay? I will write. For example, without these values also we can write. I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to write here. This is L. For example, this is yes. Okay. I'm going to swap the values also. I can, for example, I want to maintain the numbers as first one is biggest value. First one is biggest value, and the second one is smallest value. I want to maintain big and small. Okay, that why? Because L is bigger value, S is smaller value. For example, I am going to read here like this. For example, I am going to read the numbers like this. L is a small value, S is the largest value. But I want two values like this. Then I am going to swap this one. For example, L is less than S. L is less than S. What I have to do? For example, temp is equal to L. L is equal to S. S is equal to temp. I'm going to take one more variable, that is temp. That's it. I can work like this also. If I am going to execute it, 12 and 26, the output is 56. In this way also we can do it. That's it. My main intention is L value has a biggest value. That's it. S is the smallest value. If you read in the reverse way, I am going to swap it. If it is in the correct way, I am not swapping. Okay. Again, we are going into primes program again. One more special prime, that is special prime, SP prime. Okay. What is the properties of SP prime? What is the properties of SP prime? Listen carefully. So algorithm is very good. Some primes are there. Primes are some mega primes, twisted primes, and like that. Some we are finding that nearest prime. Now we are going to find a special prime. What is special prime? What is the properties of special prime? What is the properties of special prime? First of all, it is going to be a prime number. Okay. The first point is it's a prime, no doubt. If it is not a prime, for example, the input is 18, the output is, it's not a prime. If it is 19, it is a prime. Then we have to check. First of all, it is going to be a prime number. Okay. SP prime. Okay, it is going to be a prime number. Then we have to find what are the previous primes. For example, I am going to with an example here. For example, it is 19. For example, n is 19. I have to find I have to find previous last two primes. For example, some previous 1 is equal to what is the next previous prime of 19? Immediate previous prime. Anyone? P1 and P2. 17. This is going to be 17 and previous 2 is
13.
13. Okay. For example, previous 2 and like this. And one more value is that is C. This is going to be always 1. That is going to be always 1. The C value always 1. Okay. Now we have to find P1 plus P1 plus P2 plus C. What is the value here? 17 plus 13 plus 1.
31.
But we have to check is it 19? We have to check is it 19? Is it 19?
No, sir.
No, right? Then we are going back to the second step again, and we have to find 13. The previous we are moving. The 13 is placed here, and after 13, what is the previous prime?
11.
11. And again we are doing the sum 13 plus 11 plus 1. I am going to question it again.
24.
24, that is not 19, and we are going back again. We are going back again, and we have to sum 11. This is going to be turned as a 11. And what is the next previous prime? Previous prime, what is next previous prime after 11?
7.
7. Then again we are going to check 11 plus 7 plus 1.
19.
What is that?
Yes, it is 19.
19. Then we have to print it as a SP prime. Okay, then it is SP prime. Okay. Now, in what condition we are telling that it is not an SP prime? Okay, in what condition, in what type of conditions we are going to tell that it is a non-special prime? That means, what are the last primes? What are the last primes? This is going to be 3, for example, and this is going to be 2. Okay. For example, we are going to check, so for example, n is equal to 5. For example, n is equal to 5. What is the previous primes? Previous primes are 3 and 2, right? 3 and 2. Again, we have to, now we are going to check 3 plus 2 plus 1 is equal to 5. 3
No.
plus 2 plus 1, that is going to be 6. That is not equal to 5, right? Then
5.
I cannot find the next primes, next 2 primes. For example, this is going to be turned as a 2, but there is no other prime after 2, right? There is no other prime after 2. That's why we are going to stop here. When we are going to stop? If at this position, this is the last step. If P1 is 3, if P2 is 2, then I am going to check it. Then there is no other values to check. Then I have to stop at here, and I have to return the value as not an SP prime, not SP prime. Okay. Yes, this is the algorithm. It is a very good algorithm and big algorithm also. We have to write. I am going to read one value, only one value. Percentage D, ampersand now. I am going to write here include primes.h. Okay, why I am writing primes.h? Anyone? Why I am writing primes.h?
It is an user-defined header file.
User-defined header file. I am going to write here the functionality of is prime of. I am going to check if the number is prime or not. Okay, if the functionality is already written here, that's why I am using this header file primes.h. That is not a predefined one. Okay, I defined it in yesterday. Okay. Some students, some students are missing the class, this is primes.h. Just listen yesterday's class, then you understand why I am taking all these things. Now I am going to call, I am simply calling here is prime of n. If it is prime of n, okay, no problem. I am going to write the logic there only. Else, if it is not prime, what I am going to print? I am going to print not a prime. That's it, nothing else. That's it. This part is finished, and we have to write the main logic here. Main logic here. Okay? Main logic here. If the number is prime, why I am writing is prime of n? If it is a prime, it is going to be written 1 here. Okay, if it is if of 1, that means this is the main logic. That means it is a prime number. The number is prime. What I have to do? I have to do something else. I am going to write the logic is SP prime of n. Okay. Here also I am going to write here if of is SP prime of printf SP prime else printf not SP prime. Okay, I am writing one more function here. What is that function? That is SP prime of. I am going to develop this function. Okay, is SP prime of function. This is the function call. This is the function call, and this is also the function call. Just observe here in the code. It is very simple, right? It is very simple. Why? Because we are not writing any function, any logic here. I am writing just in an English manner. That's it. Is it a prime? Yes. If it is a prime, we have to develop this one. If it is an SP prime, we have to print this one, like that. Now I am going to develop this logic. What is this logic? Is SP prime of n. Okay. I am moving into I am not writing here. I am going into primes.h. Here I am going to develop that SP prime. Look, observe here the function call. What is the return type of this function? Anyone? What is the return type of this function? Students?
Void.
No. I already tell in the previous classes. If the function call is assigned to variable name, or it is used in the printf statement, or it is used in the condition as condition for the if or any loop, it is going to be written some value. Why you are telling all times it is void? In previous class, just observe, go to the previous classes, for example. Here in the not. I think very right. It is logic, the prime functionality, I think. Here I write, I forget all these things. Here I write, I forget. In every time I am writing like this, right? Is prime of. If you are writing any function call, the function is here. I am going to check is the function is returning 1 or 0. Is prime of n. Here also look at here. Is prime of n. Is prime of n means it is going to be written 1. That is true. If it returns 0, that means the function returns 0 here. Observe here in the prime functionality. Yes. Is it returning the values or not? It is returning 1 or 0. Is it true or false? The same thing I am writing here, if of prime of n. What is the return value for this one? What is the return type? Students?
Int, sir.
Int, no doubt about that. If you are writing any if condition statements are for loop or while loop or printf. For example, if I am going to write in a printf statement, percentage d, I am going to write some is prime of some n, like this. What is the return type? The return type is based on this access specifier. What is this access specifier? This is going to be int percentage d, right? That's why it is going to be an int. If I write like this, it is percentage f. Okay. For example, if I writing like in if condition, what is the if condition? If it is if condition, what is the final value of condition every time? The condition value is always 1 or 0. The conditional value is always it is going to be true or false. That's it, right? The same thing here also I am passing here is sp prime of. Yes, this is true or false. That's it, nothing else. And the remaining all are close it. That means in the prime we are going to develop the function. The return type is integer and is sp prime of. I am going to pass one integer value. This is the function definition of sp prime. Okay, I am going to develop this functionality. The return type of this function is int. The name of the function is prime of. I am passing one argument that what is the data type of that one? That is integer. That's it. What I have to find now. Now this is the main logic. This is the main logic for is prime of. What is the functionality? How we are going to find that? We have to find prime numbers, right? The previous two primes. Some, for example, int p1 comma p2 okay comma c is equal to 1. Always c is equal to 1, right? Now I am going to find p1 comma p2. What is p1 value and what is p2 value? What is p1 value and what is p2 value? I am going to find p1 is equal to I am going to write in a loop here. I am going to write in a loop, in an infinite loop. Why? Because why I am writing infinite loop? There is no need to infinite loop really. For example, here I am going to write p2. That means where I have to stop. Here. Just observe. If I have to stop, I have to stop at p1 is equal to 3 and p2 is equal to 2. Then I have to stop. That's it. Nothing else, right? That means I am going to write here. For example, I am going to write while loop, infinite loop. Now I want to find previous prime of already I am finding that. What is the next prime? What is the previous prime of n? I am going to find what is the previous prime of n. Some previous prime of n. Okay, previous prime of n, and I am going to find here p2 is equal to previous prime of p1. Are you agree with me or not? I am going to find previous prime of n. For example, n is equal to 19. I am going to find here what is the previous prime of 19, that is 17. Now I am going to find here what is the previous prime of 17. What is the previous prime of 17? That is going to be 13. In this way I am going to find. Okay, there is no functions for previous. Now I am going to write it. Okay, previous primes of n and previous primes of p1. Okay, just single value. Is it clear, everyone? How I am writing? Previous prime, for example, I am going to write previous prime. Okay, I am going to develop one more function. What is that? Previous prime of n and previous prime of some value. That is also returns integer. That returns integer. Previous prime of some num. That's it. Nothing else. Previous prime of n. Just look at everyone. For example, if you are passing, if I am passing here 19, if I am passing here 19, I am going to find is 18 is prime? No, not at all. Then I am going to find is 17 is prime? Yes. Then I am going to return the value. That's it. While true, okay. While true, I am going to find is prime of num minus 1. Is prime of num minus 1. I am going to write here int I is equal to 1. Okay, I am going to write here I, num minus I is prime of num minus I. I am going to find in if condition, if I am going to write like this. What is that? Num minus 1 means 19 minus 1. 19 minus 1, 18. I am going to find is 18 is prime. If it is a prime, I am going to return num minus I. Okay. Else, for example, if it is not a prime, I am going to increment the value. Increment I value. Now I becomes a 2. 19 minus 2. What is 19 minus 2? That is 17. Is 17 is prime? Yes. Now I am going to return 17. Okay. Now I am going to return 17. That's it. Nothing else. I am going to find here. I am going to print, for example, P2 is equal to P2 not equal to 2. P2 not equal to 2. I am going to display the output here. Just observe everyone. For example, %d, comma slash n, comma P1, comma P2. Okay. P2, comma P1, comma P2. Just observe. I am going to execute it. Here I am going to give some 19 here. 19 here. Always it is going to be some small mistake. It is going to be printed 17 and 13, but in infinite loop. Why? Okay, no problem. Yes. Okay, is it clear or not? For example, if I am going to execute it, just it is an infinite loop. Why I am going to tell? If it is 19, what is the output here? Just observe. It is going to be finding 17 and 13. Okay, 17 and 13. Is it okay? I think everyone. Yes. In the next time, here I am going to find n is equal to P1. What is that? N is equal to P1. Now what is n value after this? Can anyone? What is n value? N value? N becomes 17 now. N becomes 17 now. And it is going to be here with n is 17. What is the previous value of 17? That is going to be 13. Okay, what is the previous prime of 13? That is going to be 11. For example, if I am going to execute just a single step, this is the single step. If I am going to execute it, it is going to be 19. Just observe here 17, 13, 13, 11, 11, 7, 7, 5, 3. But we have to stop at this position only. I am not writing any condition. That's why it is returning like this. Okay, like this. It is going to be checked up to 2 here, right? Up to 2. Then just this is not an answer. Okay, this is not an answer. If it is okay, everyone, is it clear? Everyone, what I am writing here? Is the loop is perfectly repeating or not? For example, if I am going to execute it again, for example, it is some 29. Just observe here 23, 19, 19, 17, 17, 13, 13, 11, 11, 7, 7, 5, 5, 3, 3, 2. Okay, is it clear everyone what I am doing here? There is no functionality in SP prime program. The main functionality is here, is prime of and previous prime. Pre prime and is prime of functionality. I am going to find every time what is the previous prime of n. Really the main logic in this line only, n is equal to p1 is the key logic here. Okay, now I am going to check, instead of printing here, I am going to check if p1 plus p2 plus c is equal to n, but I'm already modifying the n value, right? That's why I'm going to take one copy here. Okay, yeah, why I'm taking, I'm already modifying the n value, right? That's why I'm modifying, I'm taking one copy here. Okay, that n is going to be remains unchanged, and I'm going to check like this. Okay, why I'm taking copy here? Why? Because I'm always here modifying the n value, right? Then I'm not checking that, I cannot check with the original value. I cannot check with p1 plus p2 plus p3 is equal to num. I cannot check that value. That's why I'm taking one copy here. That is a copy of original. Okay, copy of original value. Okay, now I am going to return 1. I am going to return 1. If it is coming outside, I am going to return 0. That's it. If it is happen in any position, I am going to return 1. If it is coming out of the loop, that means if it reaches the last value, that means p2 is equal to 2. Then there is no need to check. I am going to check here. If it is a 19, it is an SP prime. For example, if it is a 5, it is not SP prime. For example, if it is a 29, it is not SP prime. Why? Because it is reaching the last value, right? For example, if it is a 37, it is an SP prime. Just observe here. Everyone check, is 39 is SP prime or not? I can do it very easily. Why? Because using this one. For example, if I am going to execute it, not here, sorry, here I am going to execute it, is 37, right? Just observe here, 37, what is the last values? 19 and 17. What is 19 plus 17? Anyone? 19 plus 17 plus 1. Is 37 is okay or not? 19 plus 17 plus 1.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
37.
yes, then this is special prime. For example, if I am going to execute it, 29, right? Just observe, it is reaching the last values 3 and 2. It is reaching the last values 3 and 2. That's why it is not a special prime. Okay, this is the logic here. Every time I am going to check with printf statement only. I am going to check every time. This is the key one, but that is not used in the program. But when I am writing the logic, I am going to check some values. Is the values are coming perfectly or not? That is going to be used with the printf statement. Every time in every program, I am going to check the program is working perfectly or not using printf statements only. Okay, just note down this functionality and this functionality. First of all, just write is prime of functionality. Is prime of functionality. Is prime of functionality, everyone. Very, very good logic this is. Today also I am going to update this previous primes.h in GitHub again. I am going to modify it. Okay. And I am going to post this is prime of function program also. And you have to work on all these things. Is it working perfectly or not? Okay, this is the SP prime, and note down this previous prime also, pre-prime. You can develop the functionality of next prime functionality also. Some students, we can write what is the next prime of that number. Is there any functionality? Yes, you can write that functionality also. What is the next prime? In this prime.h in your system, you have to develop what is the next prime. What is the next prime? Or we can develop what is that? For example, I can give some task here. Very simple. What is the next prime of that number? Just note it down. Just wait. For example, I am going to give some is equal to some 25, and some key is equal to some 3. Okay, we have to find what is the next third prime of 25. What is the next third prime? The first prime is, what is the next prime? That is 29, and the next one is 31, and the next one is 37, right? 37, I think. Okay, that means what is the third prime from 25? What is the third next prime? The third next prime is 37. In this way, we are going to find what is the next prime also using this key value. You have to develop this program. Okay, this is the task for tomorrow. Okay, you have to develop with this program. What is the next? For example, I am going to give some 10 here. I am going to find what is the next 10th prime number I want. Okay, just note down this previous prime. Student, just message me in WhatsApp. What is that? Can I continue in the next 2 days with the programs, or can I go for arrays concept? Is this enough? I think I am giving some 20 to 25 programs. I nearly discussed about some loops and everything. Do you want 2 more or 5 more? I will discuss on Friday and Saturday also. Okay, sir, it's enough. It's enough knowledge of about functions concept and how we are taking the loops, how I am writing the logic. Is it enough? I am going to start the arrays concept. Just message me in the WhatsApp group. Okay,